बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम Rama Rama Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम महापुराण की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोकैर्भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 19, Chapter titled The Islands of Jambudip, text number 26. Yashradaya bharishi bhagavasho hari niruptam stam vidhi mantra vastuta एक प्रथन्नमभिर अहुतो मुदा गिरनान्ति पूर्ण स्वयं आशीषं प्रभु। यश्रद्धया बरिषि भगशो हवीर निरुक्तं स्तं विधि मंत्र वस्तुता एक प्रथन्नामभिर अहुतो मुदा गृह्णाति पूर्ण स्वयं आशीषं प्रभु। यश्रद्धया बरिषि भगशो हवीर निरुक्तं स्तं विधि मंत्र वस्तुता एक प्रथन्नामभिर अहुतो मुदा गृह्णाति पूर्ण स्वयं आशीषं प्रभो। श्रद्धया बरिषि भागशो हवीर निरुक्तं स्तं विधि मंत्र वस्तुता एक प्रथन्नामभिराहुतो मुदा गृह्णाति पूर्ण स्वयमाशीषां प्रभो। यश्रद्धया बरिषि भागशो हवीर निरुक्तं स्तं विधि मंत्र वस्तुता एक प्रथन्नामभिराहुतो मुदा गृह्णाति पूर्ण स्वयमाशीषा प्रभो। What word meaning? यह by whom the inhabitants of Bharatvarsha Shraddhaya, faith and confidence, Barishi, in the performance of Vedic ritualistic sacrifices. Bhagasha, by division, Havihi, oblations, Niruptam, offered, Ishtam, to a desired deity, Vidhi, by the proper method, Mantra, by reciting mantras, Vastuta, with the proper ingredients, Eka, that only Supreme Personality of Godhead, Pratak, separate, Namabhi, by names, Ahuta, called, Muda, with great happiness, Granati, he accept, Pitrna, Purna, the Supreme Lord, who is full in himself, Swayam, personally, Ashisham, of all benedictions, Prabhu, the bestower. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.G. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. In India, Bharatvarsh, there are many worshippers of the demigod, the various officials appointed by the Supreme Lord, such as Indra, Chandra and Surya, all of whom are worshipped differently. The worshippers offer the demigod their oblations, considering the demigod part and parcel of the whole, the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts these offerings and gradually raises the worshipper to the real standard of devotional service by fulfilling their desires and aspirations. Because the Lord is complete, He offers the worshipper the benediction they desire, even if they worship only part of His transcendental body. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 9.13, Lord Krishna says, Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakritimāshrita bhajanti ananya manaso gyatma bhutadim anvayam. O son of Pratha, those who are not deluded in the great soul are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Mahatmas, advanced devotee, worship only the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Others, however, who are also sometimes called Mahatmas, worship the Lord as Ekatvena Pratatvena. In other words, they accept the demigod as different parts of Krishna and worship them for various benedictions. Although the devotees of the demigods, they achieve the desired result offered by Krishna. They have been described in Bhagavad Gita as Rita Jnana, not very intelligent. Krishna does not desire to be worshipped indirectly through different parts of the body. Krishna wants direct devotional worship. Therefore, a devotee who directly worships Lord Krishna through staunch devotional service, as recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena Yajate Purusham Param, is very quickly elevated to the transcendental position. Nevertheless, devotee who worship the demigods, the different parts of the Lord, receive the benediction they desire because the Lord is the original master of all benedictions. If anyone wants a particular benediction for the Lord to award, it is not at all difficult. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuronmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utar Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Vishakhavitamsha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamita Namale Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurtivase Namah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpataru Bhayasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaya Evacha Patitanam Pavane Bhayo Vaishnave Bhayo Namo Namah. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Seeking the blessings from all devotees so that they can bless me, especially Mahavir Prabhu, Sundar Sham Prabhu, and many other devotees are there, so that I can speak in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for the glorification of the Lord and for the pleasure of all devotees. So we are continuing to read from the series of these verses which was spoken by the demigods. So the demigods in these verses, it begins from the 21st verse and it goes more, 2-3 verses are there. So here the demigods, actually these verses are very much important for especially for devotees. Maybe for outsiders they will be not much important. Means they also can, because they are the worshipper of the demigods, and when someone is just to whom they are worshipping and he is speaking this kind of verses where where the demigods are glorifying the Bharatvarsha, and the inhabitants of the Bharatvarsha, those who are living in this Bharatvarsha, where so many holy places are there, so many holy rivers, so many holy devotees are there. So in the case they have all the opportunities, they very nicely make advancement in Krishna consciousness and achieve the goal in their life. So this is a goal of a devotees, but the goal of a materialistic person, they wanted the pleasure like this, heavenly pleasures. So for them this kind of verses is like where the demigods are, they wanted to aspiring to have that kind of pleasures of heavens, but the heavenly people, they are glorifying the place he was living. Like sometimes we say that many people aspire to go to America because they wanted that kind of happiness, they wanted that kind of pleasures. But when the interview will taken from American people, they will tell that so India place is such a nice, here so much suffering is there, so much enjoyment is there, in such a way that we can hardly remember how the time is passing, and then we remember what is our goal. So when these people, they hear this kind of interview, then they become very morose in their career, all this thing. But devotees will very nicely flourish. They understand that we may be not aspiring to go to this kind of places, to heaven, all this thing, because our goal is to go back to Godhead. But as the condition still is there, so our mentality is like to the inhabitants of heavenly planets. Mentality means still we have a desire of enjoying mentality, controllership mentality, proprietorship mentality. So these things are still there. So and these things are coming in between to our achieving the destination. So but when the heavenly people, they are just telling this kind of that this pleasure will not make us to remember the Supreme Lord, that this pleasure only make us to forget our destination. So therefore then we will try to, as a devotee, will try to come out this kind of mentalities and worship as a practice of pure devotional service. So whatever situations is favorable, even though this for devotees, even though externally this is uncomfortable for the material body, all this thing, but that is good for the soul. So then this kind of situation will be accepted. Like the examples comes in Bhagavatam, where the Jarasan kidnapped so many kings, almost 28,000 somewhere. So he kidnapped all these kings and put into the prisons, and so many days had passed. He has not given them proper food or proper place or so many facilities which are required for a body. So he is not given. So this king had become so much thin, and then they lost their luster, all this thing. So they become very weak. But when Krishna came to save them, they become so happy. So that and then before this king, they were fighting each other for getting some land, some getting property, some victory over other king. So they were fighting each other, and therefore the Jarasan took this, and then he kidnapped them all to everyone. But when the Krishna came, and then Krishna saved them, and then they were just praying to the Lord. In this prayer, they were telling that we will not blame for our conditioning, what condition we are here now, to the Jarasan, because this is only external, and because that situation help us to become humble and to remember you more and more. So that situation actually he help us in this way. So here same thing is like other example is also, whenever in Jagannath Puri this Haridas Thakur was staying in Siddha Bakula place, that externally that place is very there is no much any comfort in that place, nothing was there. So but whenever this Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami go to Jagannath Puri, and they always staying with the association of Haridas Thakur. Although the place is not much comfortable, anything get for the happiness of the body, but that place is so much empowered, so much vibrated with the vibration of the holy name of the Haridas Thakur, that it can elevate to the soul. So then in that lecture, Maharaj was telling, Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling that although the external situation, nothing was there, but they know that of Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, the person who is staying there, he will have such a high potency. If I come in touch with him, then I also get elevated to Krishna consciousness. So external things which give discomfort to the body or material desire will not fulfill, that even if we not get, but if we get the facility of elevation of the soul, sometimes we go to the yatras where we don't get proper facility of accommodation, all this thing. But Maharaj is there every day evening, so many devotees are there, so many holy places we visit. So in this way still devotees go and stay for 1 week or whatever day, 15 days is there. They are happily they are taking that place and just whatever in comfort for body is there, they are tolerating, and then they are most focusing on the elevation of the soul. The same thing is here, demigods in their prayers they are offering that although we have so much comforts is here, there is no any discomfort for the bodily level, but the main advancement of soul is missing here, which they appreciate, that is in the place of Bharatavarsha. So much advancement of soul, it can easily done. Actually from the childhood onwards, only the person who take birth in this Bharatavarsha, they have given such kind of culture where he can pay respect to the elder person, and parents take him to any demigods also place. So that from childhood onward he get the culture of offering respect to the person, superior person, and understanding that everything is coming from the Supreme Lord only, through the agency of demigods, because parents are not having, all the parents having not the knowledge that everything is coming from the Supreme Lord. So they take to demigod worshipper, all this thing. So here in today verse actually these demigods are explaining the citizens, inhabitants of this Bharatvarsha, those who are worshipping the different demigods for their material benedictions. So they are telling that sometimes they worship to the various demigods for getting some material benedictions. They worship sometimes Indra, Chandra, Surya and many others. So having this understanding, the demigods part and parcel of the whole, the Supreme Lord, therefore the Supreme Person of Godhead accepts these offering and gradually raises the worshipper to the real standard of devotional service by fulfilling their desires and aspiration. So in translation they are mentioning that the inhabitants, they have this understanding that we have to worship for the demigods for particular benedictions, but ultimately this benediction is given by the Supreme Lord only. So in this way, this kind of worship Krishna has also accepted in Bhagavad, but not as a topmost, as we are going to see in the verses. But Prabhupada very clearly mentioned in this purports. I just read. First he explained the definition of a pure devotee, Mahatmas. Say their only goal is to worship the Supreme Person of Godhead and no other one. So therefore there is no any other way of accepting to the worship from the demigods or Lord. So they only fix in their goal, worship only the Supreme Person of Godhead. Others persons are, in other words, they accept the demigods at different part of Krishna and worship them for various benediction. Then Prabhupada writes that all the devotees of demigods, they achieve the desired result offered by Krishna. They have been described in Bhagavad Gita as Rita Jnana, not very intelligent. Krishna does not desire to be worshipped indirectly through a different part of his body. Krishna wants directly devotional worship. Therefore, the devotee who desires worship Lord Krishna through staunch devotional service, as recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, is very quickly elevated to the transcendental position. So, Prabhupada is very mercifully telling that, although in translation mentioned that they are also one kind of a devotee, those who are worshipping demigod for a different material desires, with the understanding that things is provided by the Supreme Lord. But Prabhupada is telling that in purport, although this is there, but Krishna does not accept this kind of this devotion service. Krishna will only accept staunch, whatever Krishna will direct devotional service. Therefore, the devotee who worship Lord Krishna with staunch devotional service, then he only can elevate it to the prime destination. So in this, I was just going through these verses, how in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks in 7th chapter from 20 to 23. The series of verses are there, where he explained that how the worshipper of different demigods will they achieve their destination. So this is one way of going to the heavenly planets, where the people, they worship particular demigods and then they get material desire and then they go to that planet only. But Krishna is called as in Bhagavad Gita, this kind of worshipper as a Rita Jnana, not very intelligent. So here it is mentioned that those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desire surrender unto demigods and follow particular rules and regulation of worship according to their own nature. So then next, I am in everyone's heart as a super soul. So when the first things come, the desire that I wanted this kind of material facilities, so then that person is go to the particular demigod, those who provide these facilities. Prabhupada write that in purport that sometime a person get disease and he know that the worshipping to the Surya Dev, when I worship to Surya Dev, then my disease get recovered. So in this way there are so many benedictions are there where the people wanted from demigods. So first they get the desire, and according to desire they go to the particular demigods and worship. And what happened, that Krishna is a super soul in the heart of that person, also in the heart of a demigod. So he understands the desire of a particular person, and then Krishna will inspire to the particular demigod to fulfill his desire. So then the demigod will fulfill the desire of that person, and Krishna also inspired that particular person to develop so much strong faith on a particular demigod also. So he will give both, and desire also fulfilled, and then he developed faith, as we see in many people when they go to some kind of demigod for worshipping, and then they get success in their material life. So their faith on that particular demigod becomes so much strong, that even if one goes to the Krishna conscious devotee, tell them that demigods are the part and parcel. So these are not he is not a supreme personality of Godhead, but the limbs of one of the limb of the Lord. So by what philosophy we have, just by watering to the root, then everything get nourishment, but they don't hear, because their faith on that particular demigods has developed so much that very difficult for them. Because behind this only Krishna only. Krishna seeing his desires, so then his faith on that particular demigod has developed. So after then, with a strong faith, he worshipped the particular demigods. And finally, men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planet of demigod, but my devotee ultimately reach to the my supreme planet. So in this way, materialistic person or weak, those who are worshipper of demigods, they reach to the planet of the demigods. So these are their worshipping. Another kind of worshipping also, devotees, they also worship sometime, as we see in the case of Bharat Maharaj, when he was doing sacrifice. But he was having complete understanding of this knowledge that when I am doing sacrifice and putting the ahuti, where it was called Indra Swaha, so that he was doing ahuti, but he was remembering the Lord Vasudeva. This Indra is the limb of the Supreme Lord, and so therefore he was remembering to the Lord. In this way, he was giving each and particular ahuti of a particular demigod, but having full understanding, he was remembering to the Supreme Lord. So devotees, they worship through the demigod. Worship does not worship, but they give respect, we can say. Worship only to that given to the Supreme Lord only. But devotees, they give respect whenever they see the temple of the Lord, demigods, any particular, with the understanding that they are the devotees of the Supreme Lord only. So therefore, so these are the way devotee can worship. Another way, it was as mentioning there that in how the here it was mentioned there. So these are the one, as we saw, that one kind of person goes to the heavenly planet, but sometime Prabhupada also says that the many from practicing of Krishna conscious devotees also go. So how it is that? So there it is mentioned that as we have got this very rare gift of Krishna consciousness. So this Krishna consciousness actually help us to go our destination, to back to Godhead. So therefore the jewel has to be very carefully protected nicely. So much protection will be there, and where carefully watering has to be there. So sometime we have to introspect in ourselves that whether I am watering to the devotional creeper or unwanted creeper. Unwanted creepers are like this, having other desires other than Krishna, having the desires other than Krishna. So devotee has to be introspect. So which desire I am getting this watering. So in this way, one can be understand that actually the devotional service actually helped me to achieve my destination. But as we not introspecting and not understanding, then so many unwanted creepers will be grown up. And we may be thinking that I am just giving water to the devotional creeper, but the water actually goes to the unwanted creeper. So there are two type of devotees, as I was just hearing class of Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling that if a devotee having material desire, he know that I have these material desires in my heart, and he take proper precautions according to the severity of his material desire. He take devotional service accordingly very serious, and then praying to the Lord for getting rid of these material desires, and sincerely practicing, sincerely following this process. In this way, over a period of time, when you do that, that kind of desires will be gone away from his heart. But another one is a devotee is having material desires and is not very much taking precautions, all this thing. And most important is maintaining material desires. Like it comes in the 10th name of holy name also, offenses of holy name, to have maintaining material desires. So this is actually very danger kind of that, to maintain. As we see that what kind of desire was having, material desire was having before, over a period of time, after some years of practice of devotional service, whether this kind of desire still is in my heart, or it is just coming out, gone. So in this way, devotee can do so much introspection, and then take proper precautions, and then nicely flourish in Krishna consciousness. But if you not take, then maintaining material desire, then over a period of time, it's very difficult for achieving destinations. So, and when a devotee is sincerely practicing, then so many good qualities are just developing. As in GV, we have this 2 days of this sessions. So there was nicely explaining about one Gaurang Darshan Prabhu gave Bhagavatam class, Srimad Bhagavatam class, that in the episode of this Prithu Maharaj and Indra. So there he was very nicely explaining that when Prithu Maharaj was doing 100 sacrifice, so Indra was coming again and again, he is just creating so much disturbances by stealing the horses. So again, the Prithu Maharaj's son was bringing back the horse. Again he was stealing. While every time he was stealing, every time he was taking the different ropes of this sadhu, and just was creating new and new sampradaya, parampara of the sadhus, which were not appreciated. So therefore, over a period of time, then he was just trying to that kill in the Indra only. So then Brahmaji came there, and Brahmaji told to the Prithu Maharaj to stop doing 100 sacrifice, and he immediately accepted, because the purpose the Prithu Maharaj was doing sacrifice is to for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord and to the welfare of the citizens. So that time was sharing that Gaurang Darshan Prabhu. So his purpose got fulfilled. How it is purpose was fulfilled? Because the superior has become pleased with him by submissive attitude. Brahmaji got pleased with Prithu Maharaj, and then we see that after some time the Supreme Lord personally come to give benediction and to meet to the Prithu Maharaj. So the purpose was to give pleasure to the Supreme Lord and welfare of citizens. So the 100 the yajna was external. It was just only in the having the name in the list that he has done 100 yajna, but the purpose behind that was has lost. So therefore Prithu Maharaj is very easily stopped the 100 sacrifice. So when he submissively surrendered to the will of the Brahmaji, then over a period of time we see that so many wonderful qualities has developed on him. He was, first of all, he was very responsible. So he was taking care of nicely his services to take care of the citizens. So he was responsible, and then he was having detachment also. It is not that why Brahmaji is telling to me only to stop sacrifice. Why is not telling to the Indra? Why creating so much disturbances? But he was completely detached. When it was having the service, he was fully responsible. Till the last point, he was doing sacrifice, was responsible. But when it comes to don't do and stop, then he immediately he was completely detached. He not did ahead any sacrifice. And then after then responsible, then responsible, and then detachment, and then so many wonderful qualities you are sharing. I was just telling. So he was submissive to the will of the superiors, and in this way he was developed so many beautiful qualities. So much so that actually when the Supreme Lord came, the Garuda, so normally he has to be put his lotus feet on the land, and then, but he was very taking shelter of the Garudaji. So therefore the Lord was very much happy with him, because he just was very much submissive to the will of the superior. So therefore he was sharing that when one is practicing devotion service with proper understanding, then the so many beautiful qualities also will develop on him. So therefore no need of having separate. And then after that he forgive also to Indra. Actually there was no question of forgiving, he was saying that I have not felt so much offended. So then he developed this quality of forgiveness. So therefore this is a way actually devotee worship to the Supreme Lord, of understanding that giving respect to the particular demigod also. See, these demigods are the part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. So therefore he was giving respect. Whereas the materialistic person, which in this verse they are explaining, they worship the demigod for particular benedictions. Actually, they don't, and when they get these benedictions, then they will achieve their destination of going to that particular demigod's place. One more point is, as Prabhupada is sharing here, I just complete in 5 minutes. Prabhupada is sharing here that with a devotee who directly worship Lord Krishna through staunch devotional service, recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam, Tivrena Bhakti Yogena, is very quickly elevated to the transcendental position. Actually, this devotee, they know that they don't have to go through the experiences which by doing that activity. Like Bhagavatam is a reference. Bhagavatam is like for them only. So there he will just reveal everything. Like for example, here what kind of mentality a devotee is having. He is facing so many difficulties. Like here I just got this from that, how this material people, they have this mentality of proprietorship or enjoyership and controllership. So devotee does not have to go through this kind of experience, but they understand through reading of this Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavatam, so many Krishna has taken the so many characters where this kind of mentality they are representing. So when they read this kind of mentality and then understanding that actually this will not help me, so therefore they try to come out from that by taking shelter of this proper process. Like if someone has this mentality of controllership, they wanted to control, especially this mentality of having this controllership to the property, to the people, and so having someone under under someone of this. So that is a very dangerous for them. So then when they understand that this, read this kind of pastime, and then they understand, then they apply in their life. So therefore the scriptures are there for them. They don't want it to go and to take shelter of and different demigods or different things. But they take shelter of the Bhagavatam, they take shelter of the process, and then they apply in their life and wanted to get rid of this mentality. So here demigods, when they say that actually this land of Bharatvarsh is so much actually this flourishing with for the to the citizens, those who are inhabitants, they are living, for them it very nicely they can achieve their success in their life by sincerely practicing. But as in our case, as we saw that behind back, so many verses were there where the demigods are like lamenting, regretting what kind of place they have got, where the so much kind of sense gratification is there, and in so much sense gratification is there that in that way they are hardly able having any chance to remember the Lord. What to speak of the even their great souls go sometime to there, but still very difficult for them to take shelter of the great souls also. So therefore in our life also we can see that how appreciation what things we have got, so to appreciate that things is actually really help us to make more and more advancement. Otherwise if we not appreciate the place I am living or the birth I have taken in that land or the facilities or whatever things I have got, so appreciate and become so much grateful for that. So that this way we can be very much, when we are grateful, then little things, inconveniences will not much make us bother, because our goal is not to be be stuck in this place only. So but our goal is to just whatever facilities available to maintain the body, or whatever facilities available to maintain body, and whatever little bit things we are getting, but our nicely the soul is flourishing in this place, so they tolerate the inconveniences to the bodily things and then make more and more advancement in Krishna consciousness. So these are the way actually appreciation and gratefulness help us to make more advancement. Otherwise if we not appreciate and then we small things we just create, this facility is not there, that is not there, so then it will not help us to make more and more advancement. So as we see from the life of demigods, they were having all the facilities, but they are regretting that after having so much facilities we don't have the to Krishna, we don't have the place where we can be nicely elevated the soul. But here inhabitants here, they have inconveniences, but soul can be nicely flourished in this place. So I just 2 minutes are there, I just take one more point. So after then Prabhupada at the end is telling that although the devotee they take shelter of Bhagavatam, as is mentioned, the Lord Krishna through devotional service and recommended in Bhagavatam, Tivrena Bhakti Yogita Jajate Purusham Param, is very quickly achieve their success, go to the transcendental position. But devotees, nevertheless, devotees who worship the demigods, the different part of the Lord, receiving benediction they desire, because the Lord is the original master of all benediction. So the devotees here mentioned that if anyone wants a particular benediction for the Lord's, it is not at all difficult. So as it is coming the next verse, where the Prabhupada is explaining that even a person having material desire, so instead of going to the particular demigod, he should go to the Supreme Lord. Akama Sarva Kama, that also comes there. And examples are also given. Dhruva Maharaj, how the Dhruva Maharaj was having this material desire, but he took shelter of he got a shelter of a Narad Muni, and then he took proper process, And over a period of time, because the Paramatma is there, so he completely purified his material desire. Same thing is Diti wanted to kill Indra, and she got the Pumsana to practice. After a period of time, her desire also got completely changed. So this comes in next word, that how the even if one has material desire, he may not be able to take immediately as a practice of devotion service, but he takes shelter of a great soul, as Dhruva Maharaj got Narad Muni, and the Kashyapa Muni she got. So therefore they accepted the process, and then after practicing, then that desire will be completely gone, and the pure devotion service will be remain. So therefore this is a way of practicing, accepting, taking shelter of the Supreme Lord. So I just stop here only. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.